So Super Nintendo kids, they were in band. Genesis kids, we were in bands. Okay, we were cool. That's right.
And what were TurboGrafx kids in?
I don't want to talk about the TurboGrafx kids.
They hung out at the school bus stop across the street from the school and smoked.
Man, the Genesis was so punk. You all know it. Well, it's really weird, right? The Genesis. I guess I'm just gonna ramble until my fellow panelists get here. But like, Blast Processing is a good band name. I own the domain blastprocessed.com. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it though. It seems like a good domain to have. What was blast processing? It was did they have a more powerful CPU? Was that it had to?
What a theory in the Retrogaming panel.
Yeah, no, I was here for that, and that sounds okay. I actually worked with a guy when I was at GameTap. I even remember GameTap. Thank you for your business. It didn't prevent us from all losing our jobs, but if you told your friends.
I tried.
So yeah, for those just joining us, the panel's not started yet because the other two panelists are running a booth. So we're gonna give them a couple minutes, and I'm gonna ramble. So my friend who I worked with at GameTap, he was at Sega in the old days, and the story he told me was that he and another guy were told by marketing, we need some kind of slogan that describes what the Genesis does that Nintendo don't, right? And he said he and this other guy just kind of came up with a list of all these ridiculous names, and that was one they didn't like expect them to like, you know? It was just something stupid they put on the list, and they just kind of gravitated toward it, like, oh, blast processing, that sounds really fast. That sounds really good. So that's what they went with. I don't know how accurate his story is.
All I heard was marketing says we need to come up with something.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. It was definitely like marketing needs something, right? But yeah, the Genesis is really weird. Like if you look back in the old days when Nintendo had that weird like licensing restriction, right? If you made a game for the NES, you couldn't also make games for anyone else. So when the Genesis, and in America mostly, right? So when the Genesis came out in America, they got all these weird like bottom of the barrel like developers and publishers that like couldn't make games for Nintendo. They got like the rejects and the weirdos, and like so. I mean, and this is like pre-Sonic, right? This is like old Genesis. So you got companies making like Bimini Run. Do you remember that game? Like companies with names like New Vision and Seismic and like companies you've never heard of, like then or now, right? But like I feel like that gave the Genesis kind of this weird character, you know, where it was like the weird punk rock like video game console.
Did they make anything good? Like any of those random? Like, was there anything of note from that era?
I don't know. Like all the early EA stuff. Like EA was kind of rebellious against. Well, they weren't rebellious against Nintendo. They were rebellious against consoles until they had no choice, right? But those early EA Genesis games were really good. They had some weird later ones too. Did anyone ever play Rollo to the Rescue? Yeah, Rollo, yeah. You were an elephant. What could go wrong? So I'm going to ask for a show of hands again. Who has brought stuff to be appraised? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-ish. Okay, so this should be interesting. We normally do this at PAX, which has a lot more people. Hello.
I'm an authorized guest.
Are you Pat?
I am Pat.
Hi, I'm Frank. I've never met
Frank.
you.
Nice to meet you, Frank. All right.
Well, I really hope we have a good rapport.
It's
Because we're just kind of stuck together now.
It's starting off. Well, we can bond with the fact that we're stuck here from Chris and Steve. So.
Well, I know you're Pat the NES punk.
Yes,
But we
NES?
are NES. Pat the NES punk.
It's getting worse
Excuse
now,
me.
Frank.
Um,
The bond is loosening as we speak.
We're currently talking about how cool the Sega Genesis was. Okay, so
No, I don't have anything against the Sega Genesis. I don't have anything against it. I have a lot of friends that prefer the Sega Genesis over the Super Nintendo. They think it had more variety.
Uh-huh.
It had better like shooters on it. If you're into shooters, it was a better system.
well, we were talking about how it had weirder games, like in those early days. Like, like Atomic Robo Kid. You know, that was
Flickum, you know, stuff like that. Was that
Yeah.
a game, or you make that up?
I don't know what Flickum. I know what Flick-E is.
Flicky, that's right. The one with the bird. The one with the bird on the cover.
Flickum.
Flickum. That could have been one of the.
Was that like a Boogerman marketing tagline?
It could have
like
been, yeah.
Flickum Adventure. Like,
Or either that, or it was one of the fourth Panesian game on the NES. I don't know, but what? It's PG still.
how's your show going, Pat? The NES punk.
Well, we celebrated 5 years of it. I had a 5th anniversary video just come out.
Yeah.
That was overly long and overly dramatic for basically a video game review series, which is strange. But no, it's been 5 long years of mediocre work. That some
Wait,
people
was your
enjoy.
5 year this year?
Yeah. I started in June 2008.
Well, you know, Lost Levels turned 10 this year. I'm just saying.
Well,
I'm just
congratulations, huh? Did you do an overly long and dramatic video for that too, for that anniversary?
No, I released Hard Driving for the NES.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyone see that? Anyone
I've
ever
not
go to
seen
my
that.
site ever since 2003?
No. I thought it was great when you guys got the actual real Legend of Zelda prototype from the Famicom
We
Discord.
did.
That
We
was
did.
great.
Thank you.
Not the one that was trying to be pawned off as a prototype a couple years ago, which wasn't.
The yellow one? That was Howard Phillips' personal copy, wasn't
No, not that one. Not that
No.
one. No, there's one that was like a test translation copy.
it? Oh, I didn't see that one. Yeah, no, we dug up an actual, like, because Zelda came out on the disk system first.
Yes.
And we managed to grab, like, a white development disc of a build of Zelda that wasn't even done
And it
yet.
had the differences in it.
Yeah,
Differences
yeah.
in the dungeons. Yeah.
Well, like, the second quest was, like, barely there. It was just a bunch of placeholder levels and
It was
stuff.
the 1.5
really cool.
quest.
Yeah. So this is Steve Lynn, everybody. Steve's
Steve!
coming in.
Steve is here.
How you doing, everybody? Sorry we're late. Chris is on his way. and I
Okay,
just
cool.
Can't even project the thing that Howard wanted us to show, but I will.
Oh, yeah, I did not request feature. Oh, man. I really blew it.
Yes, yes, you did, but that's all right. All right, so last year, who was here last year for this panel? All right, so if you remember, we had Howard Phillips of Nintendo, Howard and Nestor fame, and he couldn't be here with us today. He's a little busy, but he did send us this, which is going to be hard to see, but we'll try to get a bigger picture of it. So it says, can you read it from your?
Oh, yeah,
note?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Hi, Steve. Can you and the Retro Game Roadshow audience name everyone in this picture? Hope to see you all soon, Howard.
Yeah, so we're going to post this picture. You can see it later. The caption is Nintendo Christmas Party 1981.
Yep. Wow.
And so this is pretty much the company at the time.
You know what's kind of cool is, like, has anyone read Game Over? The book Game Over? Yeah.
Okay.
They actually describe this party in Game Over. You might remember the story of the Donkey Kong butter statue.
So
It's
that's
there.
That's the Donkey Kong.
The Donkey Kong butter statue is there. They would later hang this up in their office until it molded over and they had to throw it away. But there is a Donkey Kong butter statue here if anyone wants to see it.
Yeah, so it's Howard's way of participating in the panel this year. I think you also remember that he had a bunch of cool paper, including the Now You're Knitting with Power, like Nintendo Loom accessory that they never made. Happy to say that I was able to obtain some of that paper, and we're doing high quality scans, and we're going to be sharing with everybody. So.
In case you want to sew.
Yeah, in
I mean,
case you
yeah.
want to sew. So
It's really funny, like I read a newspaper report of that CES where they had the knitting machine and whoever was the president of Sega at the time, I forget his name, is like, you know, yeah, we've got 3D glasses. We've got a knitting machine.
And they still lost. That's the sad part.
yeah, well, 3D
Poor
is just a
Sega.
fad. You know, you always need it.
Yeah, no one wants 3D.
you're
Yeah,
right.
especially not Nintendo.
Yeah.
So, what time is it? Are we still waiting for Chris, or should we start bringing up guests? We've got about
Yeah.
5 people with items. So
Okay.
We might want to.
Yeah, we might want to start. We can.
Why don't we start with one, and
Yeah.
then we'll space things out. So,
Sure.
show of hands again. Who's got something? We're just going to call people up. You, sir.
All right,
on
and
up.
we'll have you sit next to Pat on that side.
Has he been frisked? Do we know if he's armed or
Oh, thank you.
what is that?
We are doing this in true
Antiques
roadshow style.
Oh wow!
This is going to be a really awkward.
Oh
panel.
wow! So do you want me to start? This is Superfire Pro Wrestling.
Hang on, you're touching it.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
God, the oils are destroying the cartridge.
Great, now it's only worth 50 cents.
Super Fire Pro Wrestling for the Super Famicom.
There we go.
Okay, so tell us about this game. How did you how did you acquire this title? Wait, first of all, what's your name and where are you from?
I'm Alex. I'm from Wilsonville, Oregon.
Wilsonville. Where's Wilsonville?
That is just south on I-5. Just look for the Fry's Electronics.
Okay, I usually do.
Okay. And so Super Fire Pro Wrestling.
You want to take a look?
Yeah, I can look at it. I can't
Yeah,
touch
you
it.
can't
I
touch
have the
it.
gloves.
Do you need me to point at anything?
Yeah, the Japanese that I can't read.
Yeah,
That's excellent.
I think that says Super Fire Pro Wrestling.
Yes, that's a pretty good guess. Okay, so did you pick this up today?
Yes, I did.
Okay, for $10.
Well, actually got a deal on it for $7.
Okay. So
So tell us about your haggling technique.
yes.
Basically, I walked up, picked a couple games I liked, said, hey, can I get a deal for the 2 of these?
Uh-huh.
And he said, yeah.
Wait, so the exchange was, can I get a deal? And the answer was yes?
Correct.
And the answer was, yes, I can give you the 2 of these games for $15.
Okay, and then you lowballed that, right? No?
Not really.
Oh, come on.
See,
That's
Pat-
when you go, would you take 12?
Probably.
So Chris is coming up, and
But I
Chris
can
Kohler.
talk about this. I'm a huge Fire Pro Wrestling fan. Fire Pro Wrestling was really innovative, and it's a legendary wrestling video game series in Japan. It started, hey, Chris.
Hi.
There you go. So they had games
Chris,
on
look
the
at my
Super.
accessories.
Yeah.
I had heard
ice
that,
pipe.
that you were going to be given very special Antiques Roadshow style accessories,
Yes.
right? Yes.
So Fire Pro Wrestling was special because it used, even up to the latest Fire Pro Wrestling returns on PS2, they always just used 2D sprites. They never went over to 3D. They did it one time, it was a disaster. But it was such an innovative series because it was the first really to have Creator Wrestler. I know that's common in all the games now. They had Creator Wrestler. You made your own wrestler, own moves, move sets. You created your own AI for your opponents, which was unheard of. And we're talking early 90s. So yeah, it's a legendary game series, really enjoyable to play. It still has a cult following now. In the late 90s, you would go online and people, since it didn't come out in the US, you would go online and you would have to print out like hundreds of pages to know how to do the AI and the menus and all different. You can select your own referees in some of these games. Great series.
this is, I mean, the big thing about this one is basically you could recreate all the WWF wrestlers.
You
right?
could.
Yeah, and
And
so
they-
like everybody would be like,
yeah.
okay, this is The Rock and this is Ultimate Warrior.
But they also
and all
didn't care about copyright in Japan, so they actually put a lot of the U.S. wrestlers in and just changed the name, but you could change them back. But they look just like the wrestlers.
Isn't there like Ultimo Warrior or something like that?
Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah, there's a lot of, yeah.
Ultimate Warrior, yeah.
Yeah.
Slightly modified versions of Kenji Muto and
Yeah.
Rob Van Dam and Hayabusa.
Yeah. So
Yeah, we're
great-
talking about-
Andy the Giant.
Yes, yes,
No,
of course. All right, so we hear it's $7.
$7 what he paid for it.
What he paid for it. So we've got with some sun fading on the back, right of the cart. I mean, it's a great game.
We're gonna assume that it
fantastic
works.
game.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of like the player's copy. I mean, I'd say the price is about right.
I would also, yeah, I would, if I had to take a stab at a value, I'd say between $7 and $10.
will you play the game?
Yes.
So this is
That's
worth
great
like
then,
$1
yeah.
million.
Yeah, because you're going to play the game. Yeah.
Plenty of enjoyment, great series. They had a follow-up on the Dreamcast. They had one on the PlayStation, and then they had the one on the PS2. So yeah, it's a great series. And they had Six-Man Scramble on the Saturn, so yeah.
And I believe, was it the first one that Suda51 worked on?
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because Suda was at Human.
I don't know which ones
He
he
was
worked
at
on.
Human working on the Fire Pro Wrestling series. I don't remember which one he started on.
It might have been. I know that his one it was controversial because it ended with the story mode ended with the player character killing himself for not being up to the standards of, I forget who it was, the Japanese wrestler.
Wait, is that just the standard ending of the
Yes.
Like
is
you
the-
beat the
single
game
girl.
and you
The one
kill
that,
yourself?
the one that Suda worked on. I
Yeah,
think.
the ones who worked on. That's the ending, not the bad ending. That just the ending.
Just the ending.
Just the ending.
You don't want to know about the bad ending.
Yeah, yeah. All right, awesome. Well, I
Thank
mean,
you for bringing that up.
yeah, thank you very much. It's a
On
great
that
game.
depressing note.
All right.
So have you all been properly introduced yet?
Not
I don't know.
really.
Catch me up.
we
What's
have.
happened so far?
We talked about how cool the Sega was.
Oh, yeah?
Mostly two-pad.
I talked about the game called Flicky.
Yeah, but he called it Flickum. So that was weird.
You got a lot done while I was...
We showed a butter statue of a gorilla.
We did that.
Oh,
to
you
the
already did
audience.
that?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, okay. Did you play the guessing game?
No, we did not. So
Okay.
yeah, he said, "Can you name everyone?" And we didn't have a projection, so
Yeah,
we'll,
and
we'll
also
put it out.
no
so-
one can name all those people.
No.
Right.
Come on.
I can name Donkey Kong.
I found Howard. Found Arakawa.
Yeah.
That was it. All right.
Well, maybe Don James is probably
He's
back
probably
there.
in there, yeah.
I kinda-
Bruce Lowry's in there, probably.
This
I don't
is
know what he
super
looks
boring.
like.
Yeah, these are names that just like everybody's like, "Who is that?"
Gail Tilden might be in there.
Might be.
Yeah. What other names do we know?
Welcome to Saying Names, the panel.
So, Chris, we have like 4 more people with stuff, so
Oh, yeah?
we might
Yeah.
want to space this
Are we
out.
drawing it out?
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
cool.
Stretch it out.
Yeah, stretch it.
Like Caramello. Remember the Caramello commercial? Stretch it out.
I found gold.
Caramello.
Yeah. From your finger to your mouth. Stretch it out.
Me and Frank already have this bond here.
He's
going
got
on.
the
This is
rubber
great.
gloves on. He's talking. I don't even know.
So we know each other for years.
Should we bring up another item, Chris?
Yes.
I want Chris, you know, you're the host of this
So,
table.
but
Come on,
yeah,
take control.
so yeah, as the ostensible host of Retro Game Roadshow, I think I get to pick.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But again, you all introduced yourselves to these people, right? They all know
I don't
who
think
you
I
are.
did.
Well, okay, so we kind of introduced each other. I mean, we talked about your video series.
We didn't, oh, you mentioned it. You didn't
Okay,
talk.
Pat, why don't you? We talked about how my site's been around twice as long as his video series.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
I complimented his Legends of the Prototype.
Yeah,
You know,
you
I
did.
complimented
Thank
that.
Pat, why don't you introduce yourself?
Okay, my name is Pat. I'm pretty, I collect games. I've been doing it for like 12, 13 years, and I've been doing a video game series for 5 years, and I also do a series called Flea Market Madness, which helps you guys go out there and buy games on the cheap for, giving good tips on how to do that. So I've also been on Pawn Stars,
That is true.
You were on Pawn
Yes,
Stars.
you
Sure.
were.
and I took heat for that.
A source of much controversy. Yeah.
Much controversy on some very nice video game forums with some very nice people. So, yeah.
How much of it was staged? All of it, I understand.
Chumley comes up from behind and strangles him.
Are we going in order? Should I?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm Frank Cifaldi. I'm a game developer in the San Francisco Bay Area, specifically Oakland, which is the coolest city in the San Francisco Bay Area. I don't care what anyone says.
Ooh.
Woo.
Hey, Oakland's great. I've been
For getting stabbed.
I've been yes, stabbed, mugged, and I don't want to get into this.
Ejaculated.
I've been yes.
Are these the type of panels you run, Chris?
Yeah,
Is it dragging
I
into this?
mean, I
Typically,
thought we were
no.
doing family friendly. but-
Wow.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I've
got that?
been calling myself a game archivist and historian for, I don't know, since about 98 or so. I started a website 10 years ago called Lost Levels, which is a website that digs up and preserves unreleased video games. And I've been a video game journalist for some years. I used to edit Gama Sutra and 1UP. And I worked for a time at a company called GameTap, which is a games on demand service, and it was horrible, and I hated it. And I lived in Atlanta, and that was weird.
They give you a lot of money, though.
They did give me a lot of money to move to Atlanta. That was cool. And that's me.
So I'm Steve Lynn. I'm the general manager of GRE Canada, which is located in Vancouver, BC. Yeah.
Yeah, woo.
Woo, Canada. So I have been a game collector for a very long time. Worked at a game store in high school and probably spent all my paychecks on NES and SNES games at the time. I also have been trying to be an archivist, trying to mostly pick up things like undumped, unreleased prototypes or things like that paper, get it scanned and get it dumped and get it out to as many people as possible. So yeah, that's me.
Thanks, Steve.
You're welcome.
You
Thank
make my
you
life
guys
so
for,
much easier,
for
by
being
the way.
here.
You're welcome. I also like the
As-
fact
as
that now,
usual.
I guess the new word for collector is archivist, which also can replace hoarder. So that's a good one. I'll start using that for myself. I'm an archivist. I don't have a problem at all. I'm an archivist.
It's better than reseller.
Ooh, fist fight.
Chris,
Yeah.
who are you?
I'm Chris
I don't
Kohler.
I've never actually asked.
I'm the editor of Game Life at Wired, and I do this thing, and I ask these people here so we can do basically Antiques Roadshow for video games. It usually is a lot of fun. It's usually not this antagonistic towards each other, but that's what I was hoping for.
How
Throw
I
Pat
hate
into the mix and we just start battling. It's crazy.
So Oh, and I really should. Do I pimp my own stuff at the beginning or the end? I don't really know what's appropriate.
Both.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Everything.
Subscribe,
I want you guys,
like.
because you're here, because you care about this. Go to starting on Monday, and every Monday for this month, go to youtube.com/wired. Because I went out to the National Museum of Play, the Strong, out in Rochester, New York, a few weeks ago, and we shot a whole bunch of video there. And they have a massive, they're just trying to be like the world's biggest, kind of museum of toys and ways people play, but they're doing a huge video game collection. So I got to go into the archives and the basement and like look through all their stuff. Their King's Quest design documents, by which I mean like notebook paper, like loose leaf notebook paper that Roberta Williams wrote out how the King's Quest would go in pencil, is all there in their archives, and I get to look through it, and it's going to be pretty cool. So if you're interested in that, please watch them.
They broke into her house, basically. It sounds like they get that stuff.
Yeah, essentially.
He's got that hot tub in the back.
So with that out of the way, okay. So who else brought stuff to be evaluated by the panel of experts and me? Okay, you're sitting kind of close to the front.
Brought a jacket.
North Face jacket?
Is it in the jacket? Okay. It's not like the Star Fox weekend competition jacket? By North Face. Might be.
I wish.
Yeah.
Are you cradling it in the jacket because of its...
No.
Oh, are you
It just
trying
wouldn't fit
to...
in my pants.
Okay.
And you wanted to, oh, what is this? Oh, yeah, sorry. So this is Parappa the Rapper, right? This is a plush Parappa.
It is Parappa the Rapper.
It's a McDonald's premium.
It is.
Parappa the Rapper, which is why he's eating McDonald's fries.
Yep.
Wow. Was this McDonald's in Japan that did this?
Yes. I can actually tell you a lot about this.
Okay,
because-
well,
Chris
first of all,
Kohler,
what's your name
yeah.
and where are you from?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Sorry, I lost my voice.
Oh, no.
My name is Brian. I'm from Seattle.
Brian, were you on our panel last year, or
I was not,
at
no.
PAX, or okay? But you were in the audience. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so Chris, tell us about why Parappa is shilling McDonald's fries.
Yes. So I was actually living in Japan when they ran this promotion, and it was either late 2000 or probably early 2001, maybe the spring of 2001, and Sony and McDonald's did a Happy Meal promotion, and so if you bought a Happy Meal, you got either it was like a plush Chocobo, there was a plush Parappa, there was a plush, I think the Dokodemo Isho, the little white mascot character that they had, and then another PlayStation kind of cutesy mascot character.
Now,
And
were
you could
these
buy them in
separate
the McDonald's.
purchases?
I think
Or
you
were
had
they
to,
happy?
I think you had to buy a meal,
Yeah.
and then you paid another $1 or whatever to get the toy, or another
see.
couple of bucks.
it's kinda like
there was a
the-
burger that they did for it too, with a weird kind of pepper sauce on it. It
They had
was
like a
horrible.
PlayStation burger.
Yeah, there was a special
Wow.
burger that they had for the promotion. And then also, one out of every something group of people would get, there was a piece of PlayStation 2 software, like a PlayStation 2 happy demo disc or whatever, with demos of Parappa the Rapper 2.
With all
and
the
stuff
sprites
like that.
replaced by like McDonald's food.
No, I wish.
Was this like that Doritos
So
racing game? And it's just
I
like,
thought that demo disc was going to be worth a lot of money. One of my friends who was living there got it, and I bought it from him. And then, as it turns out, it's completely, utterly worthless because they gave away tons of them. But pull on the French fries.
as he tears it off.
Ah.
Is it vibrating?
It vibrated.
Yeah,
Why does it vibrate?
Well,
Chris, why does it vibrate?
He pulls
Chris,
the French fries towards him.
Oh.
why does he vibrate? Why is it coming out of his chin?
I don't know why he vibrates. I don't get it. But he pulls the French fries go into his mouth.
Why does he look so shifty?
Oh,
Oh wait, what was this?
I forgot this part of it. That
What
came
is this
out
part?
as well.
It's some kind of card that came with it.
With Japanese on it. Which we
Number
should hand to
4,
Chris.
and it says some stuff in Japanese.
All right, so this is similar to, I guess, what the Beanie Babies promotion they ran in the U.S., where you buy a meal and then you get like a mini Beanie Baby or something. Because this is pretty elaborate for a Happy Meal. Toy.
Yeah, this couldn't have just been a free with a meal. I think you're right.
What are you saying? It's
Must
like,
have
Yeah.
100
So the,
yen or
the
something.
card itself was separate. That was not part of. That was when Parappa the Rapper 2 came out, so it was a little earlier.
it does say McDonald's on it though.
Yeah, it does. It is, but it was not. They didn't go together.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So they must have
I
given
would
out
not
trading
have-
cards for Parappa 2.
I would not have gotten that from any other place, as far as I remember.
Probably not. No.
Oh, so did you actually buy this in Japan?
Yeah. How did you come across it?
So I was living in Guam, stationed in the Air Force, and my wife took a shopping trip to Korea, and then she went through Japan, and she got herself a Happy Meal,
got all that?
as we
Wow.
all do.
Okay.
And she bought this odd-looking doll.
Maybe it came with the Happy Meal. Maybe the card came with the Happy Meal or something, and then the toy. Yeah.
Yeah, and she had no idea what it was. She said, "Look at this weird dog thing I got you."
This is. Honey,
And I said, "Oh my God, it's Parappa the Rapper!"
Yeah.
We're gonna play a game.
Was that actually your reaction? Oh
Yes.
my God.
Oh my God, it's Parappa the Rapper.
Great. So yeah.
I don't trust. Look at his eyes.
He stole those French fries.
Yeah.
Oh God.
That's why he's so shifty.
Okay.
So I haven't actually, priced these out in a while. But I mean, I bet you it's
You've
like,
priced these out at some point in your life?
No, you know what?
the
Okay,
chocobo,
all right,
maybe.
yeah. Let me just reel that one in. I've never priced these out.
Thank you.
I think I've gone to Japan and seen them for sale for like $20, $30, you know,
Okay.
because they are. I mean, there's not a lot of Parappa the Rapper merchandise out there.
And it
Parappa
actually
the
is
Rapper
really
is
nice.
awesome. Yeah,
Like,
and it's
like if, I don't know how much you guys can see this, but it's really detailed. Like the hat seems like to be a separate attachment.
Mm-hmm.
It's a handsome piece of
Handsome
promo swag.
So I would say you could probably sell that to somebody for like, $40, $50. Just because of how awesome it is.
Yeah.
And, it's just tough to find them now, but it's like 10 years old.
Is it one of those deals where it's cheaper, I guess, where it came from, since it was, obviously it came out there?
Right.
Yes.
So
yeah.
it's just the
Yeah,
importing it would be
You're
tough.
going to have a much easier time finding them in Japan. But then again, I mean, a lot of stuff ends up leaving Japan because people go there and they buy things either to bring them here and flip them on eBay or just to bring them back for themselves and they sell them. So, yeah. But I mean, I think we can all agree it's pretty great. But that's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
story about that.
Cool. All
And
right.
I think it's the best McDonald's stuff in Japan, right?
You should probably take it back though.
No, you don't have to. I can
Yeah, I know.
hold on to it.
Thanks, Brian.
We'll leave it on
One
the
more
stage
pull.
for
One more
Ryan.
pull.
Yeah.
Parappa with the telekinetic fry grabbing action.
I killed him.
I don't think he's mentally present right now.
Cool. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you.
So, why don't we take a minute? Did we buy anything at the show we want to talk about? Did we get any good deals?
Oh, us?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't.
I mean, we are ostensibly experts at this sort of thing.
Oh, yeah. Ostensibly. I bought, the craziest thing that I bought was I got Sega Rally for the N-Gauge from Ian.
You guys laugh, but wait.
Well, yeah.
But wait, there's more.
It is apparently it's the rarest N-Gauge game. It was an Australian exclusive, I guess. What? Yeah, it's got the little rating on it. It says, it's the Australian gaming rating, and then they said that's the only territory it was released in.
Oh, wow.
And there's only like 50 some odd N-Gauge games, which, it's kind of shocking in and of itself, but a shockingly large number. But yeah, that's the kind of weird stuff that I buy.
So what is that worth, Chris?
I think it's worth more than $100.
Okay.
I don't necessarily want to put a number on it, but I'm just going to keep it because I like really weird things.
Does that complete your N-Gauge set?
That starts my N-Gauge set.
Yeah, see,
And now that the hard one is out of the way, now I can just backfill with commons.
I went to a GameStop and I bought, I think, 80 N-Gauge games because they're all on clearance for $1. And then it was, that moment of clarity when you get home and you're like, what am I doing?
Oh, you had that moment.
Yeah, but it was only for N-Gauge. I was like, okay, it's N-Gauge. It's like, I don't even.
So Gamecom was okay. Engage, that was the line.
Yeah,
That was the
exactly. Right. I'll Duke Nukem on Gamecom's fine, but if I hold the phone up to my head, I can't do that.
I think that's the thing. It's that everybody has the moment, and then what you do in response to that moment determines whether you are in this for the long haul or whether you just GTFO immediately.
Or you're a quitter. Are you a quitter?
You had a different.
Yeah. Well, mine was also at a GameStop.
Yeah,
Actually,
okay.
no, it was a Funko at the time.
Okay.
This was like 2003. This is, believe it or not, even though I'm on this panel, I don't collect video games. In 2003, I was collecting like NES games as I found them, and I'd go into Funko because you could just go into Funko or the equivalent of GameStop in those days and just buy complete NES games for like $5, you know. So I went and bought one, and it was just like a thing I did, right? Was just go around to the stores, find things I didn't have, buy them. And I went to my car, and I opened the trunk, and I put it down, and I'm just staring at it. It's Home Alone 2 for the NES, right? So I'm staring at Macaulay Culkin going up at me, and I'm kind of staring back at him like kind of intensely, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, I'm never gonna play this. I'm never going to play Home Alone 2. Why do I have Home Alone? What am I doing with my life? And you've never experienced
Never.
this.
Never got.
You have not awoken yet, my friend. So, Classic Gaming Expo that year, I just sold all my games for like way too cheap.
I bought a lot of those.
I bought one thing today, and I just dropped it.
Oh yeah.
Is it glass?
This booth had this psychotic Ren-looking, like Ren Hoek from Ren and Stimpy with like weird, crazy eyes.
He's got it like slits on the side of his
Look at
face,
his crazy
like
Ninja Turtle
scars.
mouth.
What's going on?
But and it is official. It says Nicktoons right on it, right? So it talks, but I don't think this is Ren's voice. What the hell is that? They just put like a psychopath in a room with a mic, and they're like, "Be Ren," and they showed him the doll, and he's like, "I don't know what this is."
It's like one of those white noise ghost recordings that they take at haunted house. All right. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, God. So anyway, what did I get today?
Yeah.
I got a couple of Bally
I'm gonna put this in the auction.
Oh,
Yeah. No. What'd you get, Pat?
A couple of Bally Astrocade games. I recently got an Astrocade. And I got one, and actually it sent a signal to the TV, but it didn't actually play the games. I've heard that's a common problem. The second Bally Astrocade, it worked. And it's a nice system not many people had. Came out in, what, 78?
Can you eat the family truckster, like in National Lampoon's
Oh, is that what they
Vacation?
were playing in that?
Is that what they were using? The Valley
Yeah.
Astrocade?
Wow.
Valley Astrocade.
Promo monies for Bally there. So I did that, and then I picked up a couple of TurboGrafx 16 boxes, a Yobro box.
Nice.
Yeah.
Beach Boys.
Beach Boys music.
Ballistics, and I got the complete CD game of Magical, was it Dinosaur Tour? I
got that TurboGrafx game, Magical Dinosaur Tour.
Yeah, it's a magical tour with dinosaurs. But my almost moment of clarity was when I almost bought a second Sega Pico just to upgrade the box quality, and that's when I thought, I got to stop with that.
Yeah, see,
I
you're almost
I also bought about this many Channel F games
Wow, that's all of them.
for my it's close for my 4 Channel Fs.
You have 4 of them?
They
One and
keep
two.
showing up at the flea market, and I can't not buy them.
Oh, not variants. You just have 4 of the same.
Yeah.
I've never come across one Fairchild system ever. At a flea
That's what I'm
market,
saying.
Ever. I came across 2 games. And
I
was,
went
yeah.
33 years without ever seeing one at a flea market, and then
Wow.
like every month I find one now.
They all worked?
Maybe they're finding me.
They all worked?
Oh, I have no idea.
I'll bet someone
I have to, and now I got all the games to test them with.
I'll bet someone at Fairchild Semiconductor was really proud of the name Channel F.
Yeah.
Well, it was a
Channel
hasty
Fairchild.
revision, right? Because they called it the Video Entertainment System
Right.
first.
Yeah.
And then the Atari Video Computer System came out.
Yep.
And then it was just like, wait a minute, I've got it, you guys. Puts down his
Channel F.
High five, Trip.
Should we bring someone else up, Chris?
Yes.
Yeah, totally. I suggested that, and then you said, no, let's all talk about ourselves. Are we?
I'm padding it
Go
out. I'm
back-
stretching it out.
Stretching it out.
Caramello.
Who's up next? You raised your hand fast.
He's got a box.
Oh, it's a box.
It's red. 2 things. It's
Whoa.
wine glass.
Wine glass.
Oh, it is. Wow. I was just joking about, is it glass? Ha ha ha. No.
Never joke.
Okay, sir. What is your name and where are you from?
I'm Steve from Seattle,
All right, Steve.
Okay.
What do you got?
What do we got here?
and I have a Sonic the Hedgehog wine glass.
Whoa.
From
So now, is it associated with a
1991.
specific event or
1991.
Okay.
91?
Whoa, hang on, let me see this.
I actually have two of them. I have a set.
Happy Holidays 1991.
This is-
Sonic official clip art from the Mega Drive release with a Santa hat on. Look at that.
This is a holiday party gift? you
Yeah, this
think?
looks like it was probably a Sega Christmas party gift. Look at that.
Hans, I am
No,
going
that's
to need
actually
these
really nice.
photographs of Frank with the
Yeah.
rubber gloves on him.
So, if we ask you how you acquired this, would this like blow a surprise ending, or should we just ask you how you acquired this?
I got them. I'll tell you. I
Okay.
got them at a garage sale.
Nice.
Oh,
And where was
man.
the garage sale?
I'm sorry.
What?
The garage sale in Seattle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, it was from an ex-Nintendo Sega employee.
Okay.
Double
Yep.
agent.
Yeah.
Ah.
Actually, she
Yeah.
was the lead designer of the Mario vs. Donkey Kong games.
Oh
Oh,
wow.
wow.
And
Oh,
she
okay,
was
cool.
clearing out all her stuff because
Wow.
she's moving back to Japan.
Oh man, you scored. Okay, so
Yeah.
you got two of these.
Yeah.
Was there like a box that came with them or
No,
anything?
no
Just the
box.
glasses. Wow. Well, this is really cool, and I mean, it's not only a Sonic promo glass; it's from the holiday party the year they released Sonic the Hedgehog
Yes.
1.
Yes.
This is cool.
Yeah.
I really like this.
That's what makes it really interesting. Is that
Yeah.
it's not just like if this was just like 2003.
This is they were at a Christmas party celebrating how many damn copies they sold
yeah.
of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Drinking heavily
Yes.
out of these very glasses.
That
Now, this
woman
could
got
be at a hol-
tanked.
I mean, so this could be like the employee gift that they gave
Yeah,
everybody
that's what I'm
at the end of
guessing,
the
yeah.
year. It could have been something for the press, although typically the
Happy
employees wouldn't
holidays?
end up with that stuff because they
Yeah.
don't make the press stuff and give them to employees.
Yeah, I'm guessing this is Sega's Christmas party from 1991.
Yeah, or just or that they gave them out. To
Yeah, it's
employees
true.
to
It could have been gifts from
Yeah,
Sega.
yeah,
It could have
yeah,
been
yeah.
like client gifts, right?
But you're absolutely right about the fact that it's a Sonic the Hedgehog glass from the year that Sonic Sonic
Yeah.
was not like Sega's mascot at that point. It was like a
Yeah.
video game we launched this year.
Right, which they put a lot of marketing behind, and they
Oh,
had a lot
well,
of faith
sure,
in.
yeah.
But like, yeah, this is probably they probably decided on and printed this after Sonic was a hit. Like, this is probably one of the first things they did once they realized that.
Yeah.
This is incredibly historically significant, and I love this. This is
Yeah.
cool.
And despite what Sega has done with the Sonic franchise over the past couple of years, there are still a lot of Sonic fans and things like their 10th, 15th, 20th anniversary statues regularly kind of cross it. Well, what was it? The 15th anniversary statue at the charity event just
Oh,
went for
yeah.
over like $2,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was just a
Sega
statue.
fans.
Well, this is one of two items you brought. What's
Yeah.
this other thing?
This is a Ken Griffey Jr. signed baseball from the Ken Griffey.
Oh, from Ken Griffey Jr. Baseball.
Yep.
From Major League Baseball, which is the first one, right?
This is from this
Yeah.
same garage sale?
Same garage sale.
Wow. Man.
I paid $10 for that, and
So I don't know if you guys can see, but like, it's got the game's logo on it. It's really nicely printed ball. And that is his signature.
Yes.
Well, I mean,
Well, someone's
Well, no,
signature.
we're gonna have to call in the dude with the magnifying glass.
I mean, I
This
can
is- we're
I can
not
see
signature
breaks in
authenticators.
the ink. I mean, this looks like
Oh, yeah.
a pen came onto this ball.
Yeah.
Well, can you? Yeah, you were
Wait.
you were at Nintendo at this time, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So did you sign a bunch of those?
Wait, don't touch it. Yours isn't red.
Yeah, no, that's the signature.
Yeah. Should
Okay.
be right.
So, again, none
It
of
looks
us
like
here
ink to
are
me,
authentic or signature authenticators.
Right.
So this wasn't a signature authenticator, but this was a Nintendo employee at the time.
has one.
Yeah, who has one.
Yeah, that's identical.
So we're gonna
And
tell
unless
them what it's
Nintendo
worth.
totally punked all their employees by.
I mean, this is the rare crossover item that sports people might be
Yeah.
after too.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so I mean,
But who's crazier, a Ken Griffey fan or a Nintendo fan?
Yeah.
You're gonna go baseball?
yeah.
After he gets in the Hall of Fame.
After he
Hold
gets
on to this. until he gets in the
First
Hall of
ballot, not connected with steroids in any way.
Well,
you know?
like this is one of those things where there's no precedent for either of these items.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, we could probably figure out the value of a signed Ken Griffey
Yes.
ball and go off that, but I think there's
So
more
here's the
significance.
thing. There's not a lot of fans out there of Ken Griffey Jr.'s baseball for the Super Nintendo. Right.
And it's a good game though. That's a shame.
Sure, but it's just that there's not like it's not an Earthbound.
But it's a
you know,
piece of
everywhere, right?
Nintendo history.
It
I mean,
is.
this
It
is.
is. But it's a piece of but it's like a C grade game piece of Nintendo history, right?
But
But
the larger scope of Nintendo history. This is right after they bought the Mariners.
Right.
yeah.
I mean, and this
Yep.
this is like a big part of Nintendo's history. Like, you know, thinking back, I mean, you could tell us more about this than I could, but you know, there was still a lot of weird, you know, contention with like that darn Japanese company coming in and stealing all our jobs and our kids' minds, and you know, like the purchase of the Mariners was almost, you know, it was possibly even like a goodwill, like, you know, we support America
Yeah.
thing, but then people are like,
Right.
now they're taking baseball.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's actually a like the purchase of the Mariners.
The Michael Crichton Rising Sun movie was like how people felt about the Japanese at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? It was
So I mean, it's not just the game that I think people think.
And I'm guessing there's he maybe signed like 50 to 100 of those at one time, and they gave them out to random employees. So there's not many that are probably even around, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Do you know anything about how they were distributed to employees?
So I got mine through a BizDev guy.
okay.
BizDev guy.
Oh, okay.
It was like his
Oh,
ball
it's
that
like
he
Mark,
gave you?
so for the audience, Marcus says he got them through another Nintendo employee, a business development guy. So it may not have gone to all employees.
Yeah, because he worked with the MLB.
Okay.
So the BizDev guy that was contacted with the MLB was the one that then had a lot of Ken Griffey Jr. baseball, so I think they used as, you know.
Okay, so this is
Yeah.
some kind of.
Promo items for special people, and I got one because,
It's like a VIP gift bag or something like that. You would go in for a
Right.
meeting.
So it
and
wasn't
walk out
like
with
so it wasn't that every Nintendo employee walked out with one of these. It was special.
it was special, and the thing was, it probably was a little bit like, yeah, maybe 100 or something.
Okay.
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 So-
So
okay.
100 is.
Spitballing it, yeah.
He would come out to the office, Ken Griffey would come to the office and sign something.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so there's two ways I would look at this. It's either, to me, worth more because it's a crossover item, or worth a little less just because a sports fan wouldn't care that it's
Yeah.
on a Ken Griffey Jr. baseball game, baseball. So it's
Yeah.
a strange sort of thing. It can swing either way. I don't know. I would probably,
I say this is going to go more. This would end up going to a video game fan.
More
than a
so?
Sports
You
fan.
think so?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
there's just a
If that's the case, then it
huge-
would
there's
go-
so much sports
if
memorabilia
that's the case, it would go
out
lower
there.
then, though, unfortunately, because they're not going to care about Ken Griffey Jr. baseball, like you said.
Well, I think a lot of this is also how you sort of wrap the story, right? You know, like
Yeah.
Frank just
I can
sort
sell
of leave
this.
a
I'll
yarn
sell you
here.
this
It's
ball.
like, yeah. And
Do you
I
realize
think-
how important this ball is?
I mean, having that history behind it, I think makes this ball way more interesting.
Yeah.
So
If you're smart like me, it's worth something to you.
Yeah,
Wow.
sure. So I don't, anyone want to toss out a
Sell
figure?
snow cones
yeah,
to
I
us.
mean, what are we looking at on autographed baseballs?
I don't even know.
And is this the original box that it came in?
Okay.
All right.
Is there anything on the box? Can I see the box? There's a gold Nintendo World Champions. in it. Okay, yeah. It's got a manufacturer's name and a phone number on it.
All right.
Yeah.
Start placing phone calls.
How many did you make of these boxes?
All right, someone-
That has paid off for people in the past.
I'll be first and guess. I'll say 250
For the ball?
for the ball.
For the
Yeah.
ball.
I'm gonna guess the glass. I'd guess 100 each if you put them on eBay right now.
Yeah, I would. I'm gonna go off the what would Steve bid
Yeah.
mode, and I'd say for the set of glasses, I'd probably go 400.
Yep.
So 200 a piece. But I would. I mean,
So
it would be weird to have. Yeah, I'd have like one and then another one show up later.
Is an individual glass worth less than 200 to you? Because like the set. I mean,
yeah,
they're
yeah.
wine
So
glasses,
I guess
right?
yeah.
want
So
two.
yeah, you want two, right? You can
Yeah.
like oh, I've got the Sonic glass. You have whatever that is. And
But
so,
But when you're like
or
getting
it could be
wine
my
gla-
chalice, right? And I would be the only
Yeah,
one with
right,
the Sonic.
yes.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I think for me it would be actually much more valuable as a set.
As a set, I
and
agree
saying
with
like,
that.
hey, these are the only two I know about, rather than that awful like buyer's remorse of like you buy something and like the next week another one shows up. You're like, oh, do I gotta buy that one too? Yeah. So
You're
I
an
would-
archivist. Remember, archivist. You gotta get them all.
Archivist, yeah. I mean, I needed all 12. Maybe they're gonna keep showing up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I on the baseball, I mean, I'd say yeah, somewhere in like the $200 range.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, again, it's a thing where, I mean, there's probably tons of signed regular baseballs around, so those are going to be worth a lot less, but for a video game fan, yeah, that's really cool.
And if there is a Ken Griffey collector, this is probably a hard item to get as a Ken Griffey collector. I mean,
Yes.
it's and you know, this is a significant part of his career also. Like, he got a video game named after him, you know, even if you're not into games. So
Yeah,
So did
I mean,
Bo Jackson.
the issue with like taking it and like putting it up at a 7-day eBay auction though is that's not enough time to
Yeah.
raise awareness of
Yep.
all the people who need to know that it's out there and it's available for sale.
Yep.
It can go under the radar and not sell for enough. But I mean,
That said,
I
if-
would
if you wanted to
definitely say
sell
those are really really cool
Yeah,
items.
oh, yeah.
That if they got in the front of the right person, yeah, I mean they're in the multiple hundreds of dollar range each. It's just a question of where.
did you get anything else from her?
I did.
What else did you get?
She had a bunch of Japanese import games.
Cool.
I got a little crystal of the Mario vs. Donkey Kong 2.
Uh-huh.
It was a crystal that said 1 million copies sold.
Nice.
Oh, cool, a little
Wow.
plaque,
Award
yeah.
they gave her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are
Plaques.
neat. She was getting rid of that stuff? That's
Yeah,
awful.
actually, I saw the glasses and I left the yard sale.
Yeah. What?
And I thought about it, and I said, I gotta go back and get those glasses.
You did the right
Yeah,
thing.
I have to.
You did the right
Well,
thing.
great. Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you very much for bringing them here. Those are amazing.
Yeah, cool, thank you.
Oh, is that what we're doing? Who's next? Okay.
Come on up.
Come on up.
What could this be?
Why?
So this is the documentation.
Oh,
with
yeah.
Oh,
the-
what's your name and where are you from and all
So
that?
my name is Mike, I'm from Seattle, and this is Joe DeCure's copy of the documentation for the television interface adapter chip of the Atari 2600.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Look at that. Okay, so this is, did he write this?
I don't,
Okay.
Hey, the voice.
How do you know that, sir?
I only see a bright light, so
Yeah,
it's like.
that's what
it's-
So,
he's over there.
yes.
Would you like to come up
Would
here?
you like to come up, please? And tell
Okay,
us more
all
about
Hey.
what we're looking at.
all right, we're gonna hear a cool story, you guys.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get a good story out of this one. Apparently all night.
We created original programming documents.
Come in and speak into the microphone so everybody can hear
Did
you.
you ever, some of you heard David Crane today. David Crane was one of the original gang of four that we hired to write video games for the Atari 2600.
Who are you, sir?
Yeah.
My name is Joe DeCure.
Hi, Joe.
I was one of, as Jay put it on my first day, he said, success has 1,000 fathers, failure is an orphan. And successful products are the product of a lot of different people cooperating together successfully. Many people cooperate unsuccessfully and their products don't make it. And so we had a team of designers and a team of programmers, and I was unique because I spoke firmware and I spoke hardware. So for example, as we were developing this product, and I was working on Combat as the original designer, I said, you know, we need hardware detection of collisions because it's way too hard to do in software. So we did that. And we said, you know, our chip works so obscurely that it doesn't meet the needs of the programmers. They want to be able to say, here's this object, here's its horizontal address, just put it there. So I wrote code that abstracted the miserable hardware and put it where the guys like David Crane said it should go. Things like that. So I was one of the designers, which in retrospect was a great honor. And I wrote that book with Jay Miner because we made several copies of them and we gave them to David Crane and Al Miller and Bob Whitehead and all the rest of those people. That was what we had internally. Dave Crane was talking today what was my development environment. And he talked about having a PDP-11 to do his cross assembler bit, but what he used for documentation was that.
So I mean, this is like the equivalent of the documentation you'd get if you were a third-party developer now for a console. But like back then, it was just like, yeah, I just wrote this. Yeah, right.
It was also a trade secret, it turns out, which enriched a lot of lawyers later.
So the television interface adapter is as a piece of hardware or as a part of a gaming system is actually getting a little bit more notoriety now. You know, Ian Bogost, the Georgia Tech professor, has written this book called Racing the Beam.
Which is
that's
about
all
that.
Exactly,
Yeah.
right.
Oh, yeah.
And it's all about how, because other game systems don't have something like the television interface adapter, right? I mean, it's the idea
Well,
of...
they'll have something else that does it, okay?
Right, yeah.
Like, for example, Commodore brought out the C64, and that had a video game, you know, the equivalent of a TV interface adapter. Steve Wozniak designed the Apple II. He put in discrete logic, which did the 40-character displays in very simple multicolor character blobs. He put all that in discrete hardware. TIA was the first instance I'm aware of where somebody built a separate ASIC to do just that. But we weren't the last by any means.
And I mean, this is a chip that people are still fascinated by.
Right.
I'm astonished
Still
that people...
designing things.
Yeah.
It's 2013. That thing
You see all the
first
new games
shipped
out there?
40, 36 years ago, and people are still doing new development
Yeah.
on it. I'm just astonished. If you walk around in the consumer electronics world, what has a life like that? What were we
Yeah.
selling in 1977 that we're still selling now?
Yeah, and
We
there's-
don't do analog TVs anymore.
Yeah.
They're illegal, right? They're all digital.
I think toasters are basically the same.
Pretty much.
So many more features now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so
this is-
I'm.
this
But yeah, I mean, your typical sort of like, you know, hardware reference manual for a game console that might have been used by designers is cool. This actually kind of goes above and beyond.
Oh, absolutely.
Just because of how important and unique this particular part of the Atari 2600 was.
How many
And,
of these do you think you guys like put together?
Less than a dozen.
Okay.
Wow.
I wonder if Dave Crane probably couldn't legally take his to Imagic or Activision with him, right? If he
Right.
did, he would have been destroyed in court. So
Right.
he probably just brought it in his head.
Yeah.
Right? And luckily, the California courts ruled that you cannot prevent a person from practicing their craft, which
Right.
means he was able to leave Atari, still remember how to do some basic things. And then he went through the motions of reverse engineering it again and proved that he still remembered how it worked, and then he was able to work that way.
Yep.
And that kept him in business, which I was delighted by.
So Chris, to your point,
Yeah.
you know, consoles, yeah, they still have documentation they have to send out to developers because otherwise how do you know how to make games for this stupid box, right? And when they do that, I mean, there are third-party developers now. They send out hundreds, if not thousands, of these documentations.
Right.
There were no third-party Atari developers. There was no concept of
Not
a
originally,
third-party
no.
developer.
As a matter of fact, the guys left Atari to form Activision, I
Activision,
think in 1980.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Right. But there
Yeah,
were no
some marketing
licensed
person
third-party
asked them a
developers.
question, say, look at all these cartridges here, do more like these and not these.
Yeah.
And the guys who went off to form Activision had written all of them.
Yeah.
They had generated $60 million worth of business for Atari in the calendar year that ended in 1980, and this was in 1979, 1980. So in 1980, you could buy kind of a nice house for $35,000. You'd probably have to spend, I don't know, $400,000, $500,000 now to buy the same house. So
Yeah.
if it was 60 million then, we're talking now 600 million in today's dollars.
So this needs to go in a museum right
Yes.
now, or
Yep.
I'm going to yell
Belongs
at
in
you.
a museum.
That is exactly how I feel about it.
There's a couple things you should know about that.
Okay.
First of all, I've made it scanned, so the Atari, not Atari Age, there's an Atari History Museum on
Yeah.
the web, and
Yep.
it
Kurt
should
Vendel.
be all there.
Okay.
Um,
That's great. But
and
this,
The
I would
object,
hope,
yeah.
I would hope that someday, you know, I don't expect people to worship it like they worship Leonardo da Vinci.
Right.
But
Or
you
like
know,
the Ninja Turtles or
I
whatever.
wanted, I would be quite happy if that ended up in a museum somewhere.
Okay.
Okay.
If you
can-
need some
that's-
guidance,
you can do
talk
that,
to us
yeah.
after the panel. We know all the
Well,
museum
I'm
guys.
not dead yet, so it doesn't go
Oh,
yet.
okay. That's what I tell museums
can also
too.
tell you
For
where
my,
Will
my
stuff is
cold dead
creepy photos.
hands. You can have
And
my
my
bubble
son
bobble.
has already asked for the original Stella bicycle, which I still own. It still
Yeah.
works. It's in my garage.
The
He is
bicycle
going
that
to
Stella
inherit
was
it.
named after.
Now, so
Yes.
wait,
Yes.
does everybody know what Stella is? Stella? No? Yes? Okay. All right, no.
Explain, Steve.
No, I
You
don't
haven't
know
been
this.
talking very much.
No, that's all right. I don't. It's Atari history. This is you guys.
Anyway, there you are. Like I say, I've already scanned it, so it's on the web.
Thank you for that.
I walked up to the Atari Age people and I said, look, if you guys need technical support, let me know. It seems to me that they've really nailed it at this point. They've
Yeah.
got development down and tools down, so they may not need anything from me other than autographs. But, you know,
They got a pretty good version of Sonic the Hedgehog running.
That is an
2600.
amazing version of Sonic the
It's
Hedgehog.
pretty great.
yeah,
Or,
there are
I'm
a
sorry,
couple
the
of talks
Porcupine.
tomorrow that I want to attend about development for that machine.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for
Yeah,
bringing this.
thanks
This
for
is
coming.
amazing.
Joe DeCure, look, the designer of the Atari 2600.
One of them.
One of
Like
the
I said,
designers.
Jay Miner said, success has 1,000 fathers. I was one of the contributors. I'm not the only one. Get that straight.
Thank you guys.
Thanks a lot.
Now, we didn't obviously assess a value on that because it's one of those things
Belongs in a
where
museum.
it belongs in a museum.
No value on that.
Eventually-
So who wants to follow that up?
Seminal piece of video game history, followed by.
Actually, seriously, does anyone else have an item to bring up?
Yes.
You have a question.
You have a question? Is there an audience mic?
You have something
I just
to
want
read.
everybody to be able to hear you.
Just scream and we'll repeat it.
Yeah. He'll come up. Wait.
Okay.
There's something to give me, I'm afraid.
This is informal.
This is loosely video game related, but you like paper, so that's for you.
Oh.
He says, you like paper, this is for you.
Yeah, it says you like paper. So Wiley Publishing, in regards to image permission for Wii for Dummies. And Dear Damon encloses a copy of Dungeons and Dragons for Dummies, which we published in an agreement with Wizards of the Coast.
Is your name Damon?
No.
Okay.
No, okay. In which we published an agreement with Wizards of the Coast to supplement their game guides and marketing efforts. Our agreement not only gives us the opportunity to publish a best-selling guide to the popular Dungeons and Dragons game, it gives Wizards of the Coast excellent marketing exposure and the opportunity to reach a new audience through the Dummies brand. I want to send you a copy of the book so that you can see firsthand the quality of our book in terms of both content and materials, and to give you an idea of how we think we can similarly benefit Nintendo with Wii for Dummies.
So this is
And they did make it, yeah. So it's a.
So this is a letter sent
So
to
this
the
worked.
author of Wii for Dummies.
No, it's
No.
no. Damon Baker, manager, brand licensing, Nintendo of America.
So they're writing to Nintendo to try to
And saying-
convince Nintendo to
Yeah.
let them create a Wii for Dummies.
I see.
I give that to you because it wasn't interesting enough to put on the. All right, whatever.
And yet here we are.
Another question.
It's,
So
it's-
how
yeah.
did you come across?
Yeah, who did you steal this from?
I own
Dumpstered.
I own a used bookstore, and that.
It was,
Was that
in
in
the
the
book.
copy
in the book?
No, it was in another book actually. It was in a totally unrelated book.
Okay, but Damon must have come in with some books.
I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
Use this as a bookmark.
It was like the Dreamcast for Dummies book.
And that tells you the value right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow. This is.
This is at least as important as the TIA document.
Just in terms of historical.
No, the
I mean,
Wii being
Wii
one
for
of-
Dummies was a landmark release. It was, you know, not since the Bible has a book.
I was gonna like retire from writing until that came out.
Right,
Like, I
right,
know
right.
what I must do.
Yeah,
after
yeah,
it
yeah.
was. I write for
I
stupid
didn't
people.
know what the censor bar
Yeah.
did. As it turns out, you have to use it. I just thought Twilight Princess was terrible.
Chris, how do I play the bowling? Just make it bowling. Yeah. Okay. Wow, that's pretty unusual. Now,
Yeah, that wasn't
Well-
really my question.
yes.
Oh, what was your
Okay, so
question?
you had a question.
You wanted to bring
Sorry,
that
yeah,
up.
you wanted to
and
bring this
ask
up.
a question.
Yes.
Let's have your question.
Okay, so I was just wondering, I've been getting a lot of stuff, NES mostly in the box, signed by people associated with the games, kind of like the Ken Griffey thing, but Robert Englund who, for Nightmare on Elm Street game, or David Crane for Boy and His Blob, that kind of thing. And I was wondering, with the grading, the AV, am I saying that right? VGA.
Yeah.
They don't take that into account.
They do.
Well, they do, but negatively, right?
Negatively,
They
yeah.
take
Yeah. Oh,
it as
yeah. Yes.
So what's your, yeah.
So the question is, do you guys feel that it's worth getting those autographs in light of the fact that if you get it graded, it brings it down?
Okay, so in terms of pure like monetary value?
Yeah.
Okay, so
It can.
here's my thoughts on that.
Oh, okay.
The grading thing in video games is still kind of new. Hasn't really evolved yet. If you look at comic books, they have separate grading for autographed items. And we have not evolved into that yet because no one's really getting stuff signed yet. You know, it's kind of, I mean, I am too. Yeah, I love doing that.
And they're different markets, signed comics versus.
Right.
Yeah, well, in
unsigned,
this case,
too.
he was saying like Robert Englund for Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah,
So it's not
which
people
is-
who worked on the game. It's
Yeah.
like Freddie autographed this copy,
Yeah.
NES copy. of
I'd rather
Nightmare on
have
Elm
the
Street.
random programmer who made that game myself. But
You would rather have that,
Yeah.
but yeah, in terms of value, like
Yeah.
getting Robert Englund's signature, that's probably the best possible signature.
Yeah,
Besides,
totally.
like, I mean, you know, okay.
Because that's like
if you were
movie
to-
memorabilia,
If you were
basically,
to like
right?
if you were to go back in time and get Elvis Presley's signature on it, then that would be better.
Or if you got like,
sense.
or if you got like Mike
Elvis
Tyson
King.
on Mike
What's a
Tyson's
Nintendo?
Punch Out,
Oh,
right?
that would be
Yeah,
That
exactly.
would be a
right.
proper signature.
Right, but the thing is, everybody who made that game is so anonymous that like their signature doesn't really raise
Right.
the value of the whole thing.
So,
But if you're just doing it for
Yeah.
sentimental reasons, yeah.
So, like, I would think that if you're going for pure monetary, like, investment or whatever, like, I would imagine that you only want to get, like, really nice copies signed because no matter what, it's a display piece. No one's buying that game to play it, right? So, like, if you're getting it signed, make it, like, a practically new copy, which is kind of what I'm doing myself,
That's
actually.
what I'm doing, sealed
Yeah.
mostly.
Okay. Are you
And,
taking the
and
shrink
I-
wrap off? I would recommend that.
No.
The
You
shrink
wouldn't
wrap.
or you would? You
I
would.
would. Absolutely, because shrink wrap is not going to hold a signature very well. And also, like, who cares if it's sealed for a signature? Like, just a qualified, brand new game. I mean,
Yeah.
the cellophane's not going to matter for a signature. You've already ruined the cellophane, right? So I would, like, that's my take on this, and I don't know why I put so much thought into this.
And you
before.
may also, well, yeah, and you may also, I mean, your point about, you know, the whole grading thing not having evolved into a separate system for
Yeah.
autograph stuff, I mean, that does make sense. You might want to hold on to
Yep.
your signed stuff and not get it graded until such time as they roll out a system where they'll grade it and not ding you for the autograph.
And I have found looking at, I don't collect comic books, but I'm kind of fascinated by collectors, and I've been looking at comic collectors forums, and I think they value the signed ones more now. Like, that's kind of how that hobby has evolved, like, grading-wise. So, you know, you might be a trendsetter here.
Yeah.
So, cool.
That's a better question than the crazy letter thing.
Yeah, the We for Dummies. Yeah, no,
Right,
no,
right.
it is very cool.
Yeah,
I'm
we
excited.
dragged
I
you
got
up here. Yeah, it's our fault.
So,
All right.
Yeah,
it
thank you.
is
Don't forget this
6:30.
gem. Don't forget this.
What so how long is this panel, you guys?
I don't know.
We don't know.
Someone go check
When
the
is
sign.
when is the auction?
Does anyone else have any
The
more
last
items?
one
Yeah, do we have anybody else with
When
some?
does the auction start?
Well, we have one item.
Oh, yeah, we've got,
We got some CDs.
Oh, please, bring them up.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
right. Yes. Does anybody else have something they want to bring up, or is this the last guy? It looks like this is our.
Is this the last guy? This is
The
who I have to
last guy.
defeat?
I'm the very last guy.
He's
Okay,
wearing all
let's see.
black. And,
Yeah.
Are you the real last guy, or is there like another one after you, like a surprise?
There's
one?
no, it's him, but he grows.
He has 3 transformations and he
Right.
flies. Okay, I'm ready. I'm
Yeah,
ready.
yeah,
Okay, what is your name and where are you from?
My name's Kay. I'm originally from Hawaii, but I live in Hillsborough.
Okay.
Where's Hillsborough?
That away.
That way. Got it. It's inside of
Right?
Chris Kohler.
All right. And what have you brought?
So, yeah, and I didn't realize that this might actually be like inappropriate for the show, but I got a couple of these Sega-related, what I think are promos, but I don't completely know.
Okay.
And this is a demo of NBA 2K2 that came from, I believe, one of the developers. And then this is kind of what I'm really here for.
Oh, cool. Shining Force 3.
Right, but if you flip it, like these just look like
But if
burnt
you-
games, right?
Right. But
They have
they're,
This one, okay, I know exactly what this is.
Okay.
Okay, great.
So let's take them, what by one?
Okay, so
or
can
maybe,
you see these pretty well?
yeah, I can see them.
Okay, so like we'll
One
go
of them's a
we'll go
key
one
disc,
at a
right?
time, right? So this is a Dreamcast System Disc 2.
Yeah.
You guys know
So
what
you-
this is?
So you've got some internal, you know,
Yeah.
Sega Dreamcast stuff here,
System Disc
developer
2
stuff.
is what you would use to play a burned Dreamcast game officially. You'd have to burn
Yeah.
discs for testing purposes, for sending out review copies to outlets. Like any magazine would have a system disc, and you just pop that in your Dreamcast, and it would be like, okay, cool, I understand that you need to open this, put a CDR in, go
Yeah.
for it.
So basically, this is what kind of kicked off Dreamcast piracy, right? It's
Yes.
like this leaked out, and then everybody's like, oh, I could just boot any
So
CDR.
this is then a
And
GDR.
so you could actually use, I mean, like other times, other games consoles, like to play burned games, like you had to have a special piece of hardware
Right.
that would play them.
And their
But that-
innovation and,
their
and
innovation
demise
was, well, yeah.
Hey,
was
this is a
making
great idea,
system
guys.
that didn't need anything but like a disc to tell it that it's okay.
Right.
Right.
And so then-
Dreamcast piracy, which probably killed the Dreamcast, was because of this disc here. So
That
that's what
specific
you would use
disc
for
ruined
to play burn games. This is a probably review copy, I'd imagine, of.
The music's different in the intro from
Cool.
the retail. Which
So
is
it's on one of their, you know, kind
And
of
it's the
internal-
blank GD-ROM, right?
It's on a GDR.
Yeah,
right?
GDR, yeah.
This is the NBA 2K3. It's got a date on it, so you can kind of judge that against the release date of the game, see how early it is. Now, the one you were asking, we got, what, Panzer Dragoon Saga 1 through 4? Okay, so are these also?
Panzer Dragoon Saga
Okay,
and
okay.
Shining Force 3.
I know exactly what these are, and these are good ones to have. Now, this is Shining Force 3. This is, you can see it's just a blank disc. The name's written on the ring. It's not burned. It's a pressing. These say Panzer 1 through 4. I'd imagine that's Panzer Dragoon Saga discs 1 through 4. Have you played and verified that? Okay.
Yeah, we did a checksum against the retail disc.
Oh,
and these
okay.
are all PAL. Those are all from the PAL region.
Okay. I'll tell you why your checksum is identical to the retail disc. These are retail discs. These are what we call silvers. These are the actual, like from the factory, the retail press disc before it went on to the printers. And they would take a handful of these and use these as the promo discs, right? So these are retail discs just without art on them, is what these are. And these are the PAL versions, you said. Where'd you get these?
I was doing a trade online with someone who apparently was from Europe. I got a Saturn MPEG card, like a VCD card, with the deal, and both Shining Force and Panzer. And I think I paid $75.
For the whole lot?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Silvers sell once in a while. Have you guys ever noted the prices on silvers? Okay.
No, I think they don't show up.
They don't show up
enough
too
to-
often,
yeah.
and they don't generate much excitement because they are just like the retail games. But, you know, like Earthbound. There was an Earthbound promo card recently sold. I don't know if you guys saw this. What did it go for? Like $3,000 or something like that?
I think so.
It went for a lot of money, and that was literally the Earthbound retail board, you know, in a case with a printed label on it, right? So, like, I feel like there could be a market potentially for the silvers if people know what these are, right? Which is that they're pre-release copies of the game. They might technically be the retail game on the back, but like the front is not the retail game. So I feel like the way prototype collecting is going, and I say this because I can't sell any of mine, no one wants them, is that people only want prototypes as like alternate versions of games they really like, right? They don't really care if they're early. Well, some people do, but like, you know, high-paying collector value-wise, right? People just want like an alternate version of a game they love. So as far as silvers go for the Saturn, you have Shining Force 3 and Panzer Dragoon Saga.
You have two of the most loved Sega Saturn games.
So if there's ever a market for Sega Saturn silvers, and there isn't yet, I don't think, but if there ever is, you've got probably the two best ones.
So the Dreamcast system disc, I can nail that down for you. So they actually did, the Dreamcast system discs came in a case that looked like a Japanese Dreamcast game case with
and an insert, right?
Back artwork and a manual. And those will go for around $200 now. You've just got the disc, probably $100, maybe even a little north of $100, because it's not just a collectible, it actually is functional, like you can use it for great things, and because it's or piracy, but it's a piece of
imports.
potato imports. And because it's a
Homebrew.
piece of, like, it's a silver Dreamcast disc. It's not a burned
Yeah.
disc. That was manufactured by Sega. It is just like a retail Dreamcast game, but it was never sold to the public.
Like, I would think that if you're going for a full set or whatever of Dreamcast games, I mean, this is as valid as...
Are you gonna argue your way into this?
Well,
being
no, I'm not,
necessary for a full set?
if you're the kind of collector who wants to collect, like, Nintendo Service Center cartridges, right?
Sure.
This is as valid as those for a Dreamcast collector, I think. So
Yep.
I don't know how many of those are out there. I suspect it's not very many.
Right.
And I suspect that, as time goes on and people start more, like, completing Dreamcast sets, I think people are going to want that.
Yep.
NBA game, $20 probably. Like, people just don't like sports games.
Yeah, I mean, it is it is on a official
Yeah,
it's on a
GDR.
I
It's
mean,
not
and
just on
these are cool to look at.
random
I don't know if you
blank
guys
media.
can see the art, but
Yeah.
like it's kind of neat to see these internal. I mean,
So Sega collectors would want that, not even caring if a game was on there or what game was on
Right.
there, just because it's a cool piece of Dreamcast.
but I stand by $20.
You stand by $20?
I do. I do.
The funny thing about that, when I got that, I was working for a security company, and one of the security, my supervisor at the time, actually was friends with the guy who was the developer, and he knew that I was interested in gaming and
Yeah.
how deep I was. So he brought those over for me because he just didn't need them anymore. And
The developer should have hired the security company.
Right? But when I put it in, I believe it's actually NBA 2K2.
Oh, it is 2K2. I said 2K3, but it's 2K2.
I don't like sports games just like everybody else out there. This was the first basketball game that I actually kind of enjoyed.
Hey.
And so it was really trippy to see that it was different music and different voice acting. I think they couldn't license the music or something yet. So,
That's very common, yeah.
yeah, but it was playing slightly different, and I was kind of cool,
Yeah.
I felt kind of cool having something like that, but it
You
just
are
wasn't sitting
cool.
around.
Yeah.
I am far from cool. I'm stammering in front of a group of people, and I'm the last guy.
So much pressure on you.
So I guess like bottom line is like if you're
$20.
hoping for an investment, like hold on to these because who knows, people might like start wanting silvers. There aren't that many, like how many Panzer Dragoon silvers are there? Who knows?
Didn't even make any copies of the retail game, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yeah. There might be more of those than the retail game.
Because they wrote on this thing, like, I always
Yeah.
thought it was just like a burn until it
Yeah.
was pointed out that the security ring was on him.
Yeah.
And that was
Right.
like what kind of killed it for me, because I thought it was like another beta, and I was pretty stoked about that. But full disclosure, I ripped the discs and put them up online for people to help me review them,
And they're just the
and they're
power.
exactly the same as the retail release.
The
so
only time a silver is not going to be is if there was an error and they had to like
recall it.
recall the discs and redo them. Yeah. Otherwise, they're always going to be retail. And those errors are just going to be like a bug, like one critical bug.
And Dreamcast collectors now, if you didn't know before, there is another disc that you need to collect. It's a system disc.
Aren't there
Sorry,
two system
guys.
discs?
Well, it says System Disc 2, so that would stand to reason there's a 1.
Right. There's also Saturn system discs.
Yes.
Do the same
Yes,
thing.
there are.
I want one of those. If anybody has seen one of those, either was the black and the red Saturn system discs,
I thought they were blue.
call me.
all right.
Cool.
Thanks,
Thanks for
guys.
bringing them
Thanks
in.
a lot.
Okay. Thanks so much. Well, that basically concludes the Retrogaming Roadshow for Portland Gaming Expo 2013. Thank you all very much for coming. It's a great crowd. And thank to everybody who brought everything. I'm sure you're either going to go and get dinner or go join us at the auction where we'll be watching even more. We'll be really getting not just baloney answers from us, but like actual pricing data in real time for some cool collectibles.
I can't wait to be outbid by Steve on everything. It's
on
going to be
everything.
I'm
great.
not bidding on anything, so.
You're not going to go for the mystery
No
boxes?
mystery
No,
boxes.
I'm not bidding. So, yeah,
Okay.
mystery boxes, everybody else.
Mystery boxes are in play.
Thanks a lot, everybody.
Thank you guys.
Thanks a lot.